There are days when it feels like life is falling apart on purpose. Not slowly, but all at once. You lose a job, a relationship cracks, an opportunity slips away, and you start wondering, why is everything going wrong? And why now? But what if the collapse isn't a punishment? What if it's a redirection, one you won't understand until much later? This is the story of a young woman who thought her life was ending, only to discover it was quietly rearranging itself for something far better. In a noisy city full of neon promises and broken hopes, Liana tried to hold her world together. But every time she fixed one piece, another fell out of place. Until the day she learned the truth, hidden inside her chaos. Some things must go wrong before your life can go right. Liana sat on the edge of her small apartment bed, watching the morning light bend through the blinds, as if even the sun hesitated to enter her life. Her phone buzzed with messages she didn't want to read. A rejection email she had opened 3 times but still couldn't accept. A half-written text from someone who no longer cared. Reminders of bills she wasn't sure she could pay. She used to believe hard work protected you, that if you tried your best, life would meet you halfway. But lately, it felt like life kept stepping back every time she reached forward. Outside, the city was moving, cars rushing, people hurrying, dreams colliding in every direction. Inside, Liana felt stuck between who she used to be and the version of her life that kept slipping away. She didn't know it yet, but this was the moment right before everything would begin to change. Despite everything weighing on her, Liana wasn't someone who gave up easily. The morning after her breakdown, she brushed her hair, straightened her shoulders, and opened her laptop with the last bit of strength she had left. Dozens of applications, endless scrolling, hope stitched to every click. And then, a reply. A small company she had admired for years wanted to interview her. The message felt like a lifeline, a reminder that maybe the universe hadn't completely forgotten her. The interview went better than she expected. Her voice didn't shake. Her smile didn't crack. For the first time in months, she saw a glimpse of the woman she used to be, capable, confident, almost shining. 2 days later, the call came. She had the job. Liana pressed her hand to her chest, heart pounding with relief. This felt like her turning point, like the moment life was finally choosing her back. She didn't know. This was Hope's last breath before the storm. The first week at her new job felt like sunlight after months of rain. Liana arrived early, learned quickly, and poured her whole heart into every task. She wanted to prove she belonged, to herself more than anyone. But on the 10th day, everything unraveled. The company announced sudden restructuring. Budgets slashed, positions dissolved. People whispered in hallways, eyes wide with fear. By afternoon, her manager called her in. "I'm so sorry, Liana. Your position was part of the cut." The words hit harder than she expected. She had barely begun. The job she thought was her fresh start, her proof that things were finally turning, was gone before she could even find her footing. Walking out of the building with her small box, she felt the familiar ache return, the one that whispered, "Why does everything go wrong for me?" But this time, the ache didn't stop at disappointment. It broke something deeper, something she had been holding together for far too long. Liana told herself it was just bad timing, a mistake, a cruel coincidence. Anything but another sign that life was folding in on her. She packed her apartment slowly, pausing over every object like it carried a question she couldn't answer. Her friends texted, called, offered comfort. She replied with the same 2 words every time. "I'm okay." A lie repeated until it felt almost true. When her lease ended, She returned to her childhood mountain town, a place she once left with dreams too big for its quiet streets. Now, it felt like arriving at the end of something she wasn't ready to name. Days passed in stillness. She avoided mirrors, avoided memories, avoided anything that reminded her of who she used to be. She convinced herself this was temporary, that she'd bounce back soon. But deep inside, she felt the fear she refused to voice. What if she wasn't meant to rise again? One afternoon, desperate to escape the heaviness in her chest, Liana wandered into the old part of town, the quiet street where time moved slower and memories didn't rush. She passed a tiny watchmaker's shop she hadn't seen in years, dusty windows, soft ticking inside, a sign that leaned slightly as if tired of holding itself up. Something about it felt safe. Inside, an elderly man bent over a table, fixing a gear no larger than a grain of rice. He glanced up, eyes gentle, as if expecting her all along. "You look lost," he said softly. Not intrusive, observant. Liana opened her mouth to deny it, but the truth pressed too close. He pointed to a clock missing half its pieces. "People think broken means useless," he murmured. "But some things fall apart because they're being rearranged for something better." The words settled into her like warm light. She didn't know it then, but this small encounter was the first step toward understanding her own falling apart. The next morning, Liana found herself standing outside the watchmaker's shop again, drawn not by curiosity, but by the strange comfort she felt in that room full of ticking hearts. Mr. Hale looked up from his workbench and smiled, as if he'd been waiting. "Come," he said, sliding a small broken pocket watch toward her. "Try." Liana hesitated. "I don't know how." "That's all right," he replied. "Start with what you can." The words settled in her chest. She spent hours beside him, learning how each tiny piece fit into something larger, how every gear had a purpose, even when it didn't look like it belonged, how some clocks had to be taken apart completely before they could work again. As she aligned her first gear, something inside her shifted, a small, quiet steadiness she hadn't felt in months. The shop became her refuge. Repairing clocks felt like repairing something deeper, something she never had names for. She wasn't healed yet, but for the first time, she wasn't breaking anymore. Morning unfolded softly, as though the world itself had slowed to match her breath. Liana stepped into the watchmaker's shop, the bell chiming a familiar welcome. But today felt different, lighter, clearer. Mr. Hale handed her an old brass pocket watch. "Try this one," he said. "It's delicate, like people who've survived too much." She opened it carefully, and something in her moved. The gears were misaligned, not broken, just shifted by time. Patiently, steadily, she adjusted each piece until the ticking returned. Mr. Hale watched her quietly. "You see?" he murmured. "Some things don't need replacing, only realigning. And some people too." Later that afternoon, a woman entered the shop. "Our museum is restoring an antique collection," she said. "Mr. Hale recommended you. Would you consider helping us?" Liana froze, not in fear, but in awe. This was exactly what she once dreamed of, only gentler, truer, and arriving at the moment she was finally ready. She walked home carrying the offer in her heart, realizing every wrong turn had led her to something right. Liana crossed the stone bridge as evening softened around her, the museum's request echoing gently in her mind. Just weeks ago, she couldn't imagine being chosen for anything. Now, life was handing her an opportunity she never knew she was ready for. She paused, watching the river move beneath her, every ripple shaped by rocks it once collided with, every obstacle becoming part of its path, just like her. Her detours weren't mistakes. Her pauses weren't failures. Her struggles weren't meaningless. They were shaping her towards something she could not yet see. And the truth she carried felt clearer now. Sometimes life closes one door so you'll finally walk toward the right one. Delays are not denials, they're quiet protection. What feels like loss can later reveal itself as direction. And everything, truly everything, happens for a reason. She breathed in the cool air, lighter than she had felt in years. You've been listening to Uplyft Tales, where every ending is only the beginning of who you're becoming. If this story touched your heart, type one word below: aligned.